Spiritual Awakening channel. Today's topic is free will and how it backfired. So, free will, as you know, was given to this planet, only this planet, Earth, Gaia, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it, as an experiment to see what we would do. However, because there was no real way to see all of those different timelines and what we would do with free will, this experiment has backfired. Free will was intended for us to create our reality, to create something beautiful out of it, for us to, utilize our imagination and bring it forth into reality. Okay? And whatever it is that we would imagine, we were to use our free will to bring it forth into reality, to manifest it. However, it wasn't factored in that power-hungry people, controlling people, would infringe on the free will of others and manipulate them. And in the end, this experiment has went horribly wrong in a sense, because now everybody is so far back. We're so far behind where we should have been, what was intended for us. Okay? Now, in my opinion, I think this started with the upbringing of each individual. Each individual was brought forth here to this planet through the womb of their parent, of their mother. Okay? And if they had a mother or father in the household, those parents created your upbringing. Your parents didn't want you to know that you had free will. So at first, you thought you were at the mercy of your parents. You thought that growing up, I have to do what my mother and father told me to do. I can't do that. Even though in your heart of hearts, in your soul, you just wanted to do your own thing. You wanted to use your free will and be this free spirit and take a different direction than what your parents intended for you, right? So because of that, now you get to a certain stage in life. This is why it is, a natural way for teenagers to start to rebel. It is natural. Teenagers will begin to break free from the reign of their parents or their guardians, and they will rebel because it is necessary for them to step into their own power. Okay? To be honest with you, suppressing it until they become teenagers is dangerous. And this is what causes a lot of the violations of free will. It starts at home. So parents, I know you want the best for your children. I know your intentions were always pure, okay? However, if you allow your child to be a separate being than you, because they are a separate being than you, as much as you want to feel for them, you can't. As much as you want to think for them, you can't. It's set up that way for a reason. Each one of us is our own individualized soul being with a soul path, a soul mission. In order to carry those things out, we must have access to our power. Don't deny your children access to their power. Their power is in their free will, their free thought, their free expression. If we do this, if we switch the trajectory of how we parent, we can change Gaia. We can change the planet. It starts with us. Each one teach one. Each family can be the representation, can be the example for another family. So start with your children if you want to make a difference. Stop forcing your child to do things that they are against. Stop making them partake in activities that they're not interested in. Stop deviating them from the path that they naturally will take. They will naturally find their way. I know some of your children might not seem ambitious, or they might not seem like they want to get involved. or that they want to just sit and play video games all day. Trust and believe. I know your intentions are good, but don't infringe on their free will. Sometimes you have to allow your children to make mistakes for themselves. One of the things I realized as an adult, had my parents, my mother, my father, my grandparents, the people who were instrumental in raising me, had they allowed me to make my mistakes and feel all the effects of those mistakes, I would not have been a repeat offender in such mistakes. I would have went through them. I wouldn't have had this buffer. I would have felt them completely and learned from my mistakes right then and there. Okay? So what happens is, once you put a barrier, because everybody has free will, once you place a barrier in front of anyone, their natural inclination, their natural response is to break through that barrier. So when you were trying to stop them from doing something, now you just actually made them want to do it even more. Even though before that barrier, they probably wasn't going to do it anyway, believe it or not. They probably weren't going to make that mistake. But because you already set a boundary and you put up a wall and you said you cannot go through there, you cannot walk through that door, oh, the natural free will in us, in our soul, said, oh no, I'm going to do that. You're not going to limit me, because something in me is telling me that I cannot be restricted. You cannot reign over me. You cannot control me. So almost in a sense of reverse psychology, let's stop placing barriers in our family dynamics first, and then stop placing boundaries and limitations in our emotional dynamics with the people we have strong emotional ties to, with our spouses, with our close friends and family. Let's stop placing these barriers. Just allow everyone to live and let live. Allow everyone to be who they are meant to be. Let people make their own mistakes. It's for their greatest and highest good, I guarantee you. Yes, you're going to be hurting watching from afar while they make these dumbass choices. And you just, fold your arms and you just sit back like, well, I'm here. I'm here to catch you when you fall. But you're going to have to go do that. And you just sit back, and if they come to you for advice, then they've asked you for help. That's a whole different situation. When you're asked for help, naturally, your natural inclination as a soul being of God, you're going to step into that and you're going to help someone if you can. Okay? So do that for sure, because now you're being called upon. But if they're not asking you for help and they're not asking you for your input, close your damn mouth and sit back and watch. You might already know that timeline they're about to walk into, because maybe that was a mistake you made when you were their age or when you were on that path. You've elevated. Think about how you got to where you got to. Typically, it's one of two ways. Either you stepped into it and nobody blocked you, you made a mistake, a few mistakes, and you backtracked, you regrouped, and you tried a different approach, and then you succeeded and you elevated. Or you had a barrier placed in front of you. You were told, no, you cannot go. And you broke through that barrier. And then you were smacked head on with adversity and trials and tribulations. And because you were so headstrong, instead of stopping there, you kept going deeper into it until you got really burnt out for trying to prove a point that you can use your free will, trying to prove a point that you can't tell me what I can and cannot do. Now you're so deep in the rabbit hole and you finally pull yourself out, but now you're even more tattered and, just worn out. Okay? So the best part about all of this free will is that if you go into it with love and you love people and you let them live. You live your life and I'm going to live my life. And I'm going to love you in the process and you're going to love me back. That's how we can simplify this thing. You protect your children from harm and danger at all costs, because that's your role as a parent. You were giving the opportunity to be a parent. And a parent equals a protector as well. And when you now see that they can protect themselves and they can use their own discernment, you know, they can walk, they can talk, they can support themselves, they can get out and go to school and go to work, and they know about stranger danger, and you done taught them all the fundamentals. Now you got to step back some. That's the beauty of parenting. You teach them, you give them the foundation. But then when it comes down to it, when that free will emerges in them and you see this independent being before you, now that's your cue. It's time for you to make your own decisions. Now I step back. I love you. I keep my arms open to catch you when you fall. If you need advice, if you need support, I'm here. But now it's on you. A lot of people resent their parents to this day for smothering the shit out of them, for controlling the shit out of them, for telling them what they can and cannot do. Don't fall into that trap. We can change the world. We can change the planet. One person, one family at a time. Set the example. Start to change how you interact with your children, with your spouse. Stop trying to control your spouse and tell your spouse what they can and can't do. If your spouse want to go to the club, yeah, I said it. If they want to go to the club and they want to go get drunk and they want to go do all of these things, you are not the boss of them. They have free will. This is how free will gets violated every single day. People are doing it all day, violating free will, telling people what they can and can't do, putting their input where it doesn't belong. And the person whose free will is being violated has to own up to this shit too. You have to take responsibility because you allowed somebody to take your power from you. You gave your power away. Once you give your power away, you now are their slave. So whatever they say do, you're going to do. Maintain your boundary. Protect your energy. People who energy vamp you are infringing upon your free will. And if you don't step up, okay, and speak for yourself, if you don't try to protect yourself and your energy, people will suck that from you. And they will take your power. And then next thing you know, you're going to be asking them, so what should I wear today? How you think I should wear my hair? Or, you think I should go? You think I should do this? You think I should invest in that? You giving all your power away. You lost control. Your free will is in the hands and the fate of somebody else, who in actuality is trying to benefit for themselves. Because most of the time, if somebody's energy vamping you and taking your power and your free will from you, they don't really have your best interest at hand because they're selfish. They're still thinking about the self. The ego is controlling them. So their ego is controlling you. And your spirit is waiting for you to wake the hell up and take your power back. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope everyone really starts to pay attention to your free will, because that's your foundation. Your free will is the foundation of you. It is how you will create your reality. It will dictate the direction in life you will go. And on that note, have a wonderful day and love and light.